Beautiful Liz, I'm so excited to have you here today in this momentous time of your life. And I feel like I'm going to cry. I feel like it's such a gift because I got you a few months ago at a momentous time in your life. You were just about to walk the Camino, and I had the joy and delight of chatting with you the week you went on that trip. And then I had the joy and delight of chatting with you the week you got back. And now another giant life, I don't even know, shift, chasm opening, awakening, divine feminine rising. I don't even know what you want to call it, but I'm so happy to have you here to talk about it while you are in it.
Day one.
Day one of the rest of your life.
Day
Thank you.
one of being a single lady.
Ah, tell me what freedom feels like.
Oh, what does it feel like? Mm, feels like flight.
Mm.
Like just that when you watch a bird just flying so effortlessly on the wind and they don't even have to do anything. It feels like that because I definitely feel like I claimed my wings yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. I feel lighter. I feel joy and pockets of sadness still come because healing isn't linear. So, but it's just like a deep exhale.
Mm.
Yeah. Like I was already energetically complete, but it's like the physical has now caught up. I played the game of life yesterday. Yeah.
So
Let's
tell
go.
everybody what you did yesterday.
I put on the most amazing outfit and I even put on makeup, which, if you know me, that's a big deal in itself.
You weren't going to prom.
No, I was not going to prom, and I drove to the Middlesex Probate and Family Court to get divorced.
Congratulations.
So giddy just to say that.
I know my congratulations sounded small, but that's just because that's the amount of air that could expel out of my giant grin. If I wasn't smiling so big, there would have been more voice there for you. Congratulations, Queen.
Thank you. Thank you. Right back at you, Queen. Right back at you.
I am hot on your heels.
There's a couple people hot on my heels.
Oh.
I took last night to just celebrate myself. Like I sat on the front porch with just the dogs in the quiet, and I said, I did this. I poured myself a nice glass of wine and I just sat outside in the quiet. They were laying at my feet, and I said a cheers to myself. I'm like, you did this, Liz. It's done because of you. You did this. You got it done. Yeah.
What do you want to remember about this time?
I think for me, it was another piece in the puzzle of my life showing me that we have these things happen for us, not to us. And at first, we think it's the most awful thing. But like last year, when my marriage, it was like 30 years we had been together and it ended. The very next day, the first thing I recorded to myself in a voice memo was no matter what you do, Liz, don't make any decisions out of fear. Don't make any decisions out of fear because that was such an MO of mine so many years ago. And I have grown so much since then that even in my deepest, darkest sorrow, I knew to tell myself that. So I think for me, what I want to remember is no matter how, and for anybody out there, no matter how hard or difficult it seems right now, if you could just have a moment where you can zoom out and see that this really is for your highest good. Oh, I have goosebumps. For your highest good right now, you'll feel that sense of peace, even if it's only for a moment. But if you keep doing that, those peaceful moments will continue and continue. And the more that you're on this path, you will just keep making step forwards into freedom for you. And I want to just remember that for the first time in my life, I've literally been on my own for a little over a year, like completely on my own. No boyfriend, no fiance, no husband. Even though we weren't legally divorced yet, we were separated. And I was taking care of myself. And I just had this sense of like, God, I grew up when I was younger, and that was what I was taught was that, you need to get married, you need to have a man, and you need to compromise yourself to be in that relationship. And what I've learned in this last year is no, you don't. Because to me, compromise became losing myself.
Right.
So this is just another piece of me being more of me. Just like when I came back from the Camino and I felt like for the first time in a long time, I was really my full self. I'm even more my full self today, if that's possible.
I know, right? Because it's this,
It's
it's
expansion.
evolution,
Yes,
right? But it's happening at such a remarkable rate,
yes,
right? So it's
yes,
typically, we're in it every day, right?
yeah,
So we're just plugging along, whatever it is, whether it's personal growth, whether it's a health journey that you're on, or whatever it is that you're doing. And then you meet up with someone you haven't seen in a year, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at you. You lost 340 pounds. Like, what? Because they're only seeing the transformation, but
yeah.
not the step by step. So oh my gosh, okay, I have so many questions, but I want to go back to your comment about walking the Camino. And when you were with us before, you were talking about, you know, what that you knew that this was the foreword to the book that is the next part of your life. And you were in that process. And I feel like our situations are similar in certain ways, mainly because of the ways you and I are similar, but the circumstances are not similar. So, your situation, it's your story to tell, and you're welcome to say whatever you wish about that. For me, my quote unquote Camino was sitting in the question of, am I going to stay married? Not because of something that was what I would have considered easier. It's like, oh my gosh, could you just hit me? Because then everyone will know it's okay what I'm doing. But
Yeah.
this death by a thousand paper cuts situation felt like, who do I think I am that I'm prioritizing happiness over the sanctity of marriage? And it's like that, it was to it only made everybody else comfortable if I stayed married, which is bullshit. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm the only one in charge of my life, and I'm the only one that's not doing something about this. Oh my gosh. So I walked the Camino in that manner for 9 months of sitting in the question, really committed to my morning routine, filling my journal with questions, and then sitting in meditation for answers. And it was quite a process. And so, and then my divorce has been quite a process. It's been 3 years. And last night, approved the final the final draft of the settlement. So I thank you.
Woohoo!
Thank you. So so I'm however many more days, weeks, months, years. I don't know what happens next away from being on your podcast. Uh, yeah, so it's fascinating how the timing changes and the processing. Everyone is on their own journey.
Yes.
So that's such a long way to this question of how how did your experience on the Camino prepare you for the happenings of this week and really the past few months as you've moved toward this?
Oh, what a great question. First, I want to go back to something you said about who are you to be happy? And I would say, and to anyone listening, is who are you not to be happy? It is our birthright to be in joy and happiness. Joy is in us. We just think it's outside of us. So when we go towards something, we're bringing that joy and happiness with us if we choose to. And we aren't here to make everybody else comfortable.
Right.
Because I can
Right.
guarantee you, I've made some people uncomfortable.
Yeah. And
Liz, you live alone in that house. You're all
right.
alone. Aren't you lonely? No, actually. I can come home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon exhausted to put on my pajamas and no one's asking me why I'm tired.
Right. Or what's for dinner?
Yes. Yes.
Holy crap. Oh my
And
God.
like maybe I'm not hungry and I don't want dinner.
Yeah. Right. Or I
Ah,
want potato chips and a gin and tonic.
yeah. Or popcorn.
Right. Right. I wanted to say something about that too, and but I want, will you remember your thought?
Yes.
Because we know that happiness is an inside job. And I say that all the time on this podcast. And so, how does that play out? If I'm not happy, why did I have to end my marriage? And why didn't I just do that inside job? And I had been doing that. And it wasn't, I am not going to say that saying yes to myself cost me my marriage. What I'm going to say is that my marriage was costing me my yes. And it was also costing him his yes and he hated this house, he hated his job, he hated his life. I felt like the next thing coming out, I mean, these were words spoken on the regular. I think that if he were in full freedom and in full choice, he would have said, I hate this marriage. But my courage freed both of us. So Amelia gave me the most beautiful comment a couple of months ago. She said, not even prompted, I think Dad's a lot happier. It's like, oh my gosh, yay me. I'm so happy to hear that. Mission accomplished. It's so good. So, so yes, happiness is an inside job. And yes, we are responsible for our own happiness. And yes, we have permission to course correct. And it is always a double blessing. And if it weren't, if he didn't hate his life, if he wanted to be in this marriage, we would have done the things that people do when they're working on their marriage, which I was 100% available for, and he was 100% not available for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He thought it would
We're
be a waste of time and money because I had already decided. It's like, oh, that kind of sounds like you've decided, doesn't it? So what do we, it's not like I just said, F you, I'm out because you don't want anyone to come over. Like that. It wasn't like that.
well, people only are going to see what they want to see based on where they are on their journeys.
Word.
And yeah, they're not going to see the moments I was in pure elation at making this decision. And they're not going to see the moments when I was down on my knees, sobbing, asking the universe for help and guidance. Um, because no matter how much this was and needed to happen, it doesn't mean there's not grieving
Right.
for the loss of a relationship, the loss. And, but the more I remained present, the more I was able to see that this is the best for both of us. And it's, I didn't make this decision on my own. There are some other things that are between my ex-husband and I. But the long story short of it is I was dimming my light to fit into a marriage that no longer fit me. And I was suffocating to the point of in January of 2024, when we were on a vacation, I choked in front of my family. I was that suffocating that much. And something needed to change for both of us.
Like choked
We
to the
both,
point someone came and did the Heimlich on you
yes,
in a
yes, I had
restaurant.
that. Yes, yes.
Like not,
And
oh gosh.
no, no, this
No,
was like she's choking and a woman behind me saying, my husband knows the Heimlich.
yeah.
Um, so I had done enough um inner work at that point to know something needed to change. And we started to have conversations and I started, you know, trying to find ways for us to spend time together or wait. But sometimes in life, our yes at the moment when you get married changes over 30 years, for God's sake. And that's okay if in the present moment we no longer love each other enough to be married. It's not that I'm against marriage, it's not that I'm against being in a relationship. It's just that it was time for us to go, as you so eloquently put it, say yes to our lives. Like I couldn't live the life I came here to live anymore, staying in the relationship. And he, in order to live the life he wants to live, couldn't stay in the relationship either. And it just where we were on our journey, and when I got back from the Camino, I knew before the Camino it was going to ultimately lead to divorce. I just wasn't ready to say those words till I walked 500 miles and fully like was just with myself and what my heart wants. And actually I was asking my heart that today. I was sitting out on my back deck saying, asking my heart, what do you want? Because it changes. So in the present moment, we didn't love each other anymore. I mean, we could have forced ourselves to stay together. We could have, compromised. That word compromise is so thrown around loosely. And it's just a way for us not to be ourselves. We should be able to be fully who we are and in the relationship.
Right. Well, I think that is the true definition of
Yeah.
compromise. But I think
Yeah.
what you and we had this chat a few
Yeah.
weeks ago, or whenever. It's such
Yeah.
a time warp, this life. One day when you were in my kitchen, that when you and I hear the word compromise, we feel like it's, can't you just do what I want and be happy with everything else that you have, for goodness sakes?
Yeah.
So it feels like compromise is just the first step in self-abandoning.
Yes.
But that's not even so interesting. Is that even what the other person is saying when they say the word, or it is what my interpretation of that is? And when I feel so powerless and I am asked to give even more of my perceived power away, now I'm just a frightened rabbit. Like
Yeah.
it's like
No.
those legs are no joke. You're gonna get hurt.
Um, so when we start saying no to ourselves, that is like the first step to awareness is to notice that. Like when we start saying no to ourselves and we feel it in our hearts, like that it doesn't feel right. And again, we're all on our own journeys here. So for me, honestly, even though the Camino brought me to that full circle moment, my journey and the end of this marriage started in January 2019 when I went to Ethiopia.
Mm.
Because I'm someone that's meant to have adventure, go on adventures and travel. Because for me, travel isn't just the outer place you go to, it's the inner journey you take too.
Oh,
And I think I
let me
just
add
started,
that to my copy,
yeah,
please, because that just gave
yeah,
me chills.
I know it because it's an opportunity for us to not only test and challenge ourselves, but when we go on these adventures on our own without our significant others or without our kids or without, it gives us an opportunity to be with us, just us. And for the first time in my life, I started to really question my marriage. Am I happy? Am I in love with him? And I think slowly over that period of time, and then COVID happened. And I think there's just a lot of stuff I think that comes up after 30 years. And it's not that I was all that 30 years is like now negated and it doesn't matter. No, we had some wonderful memories and we have two beautiful adult daughters that I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change any of this. I think that's the other piece of this is
Mm.
that I wouldn't change one moment of any of it. I wouldn't change I have goosebumps of the pain
Mhm.
in order to be right where I'm at right now.
100%.
Because
I
I just,
wouldn't have even made my divorce process any shorter.
no, because it's
I'm a,
all meant to be what it needs to be for us.
and I'm obsessed with the woman that I've become
Yes.
in this slow burn. I'm obsessed with the woman that I became in the death by a thousand paper cuts.
Yes.
It is all happening for us exactly the way that it should. And it doesn't mean we're going to perpetuate now that I mean, we were doing the best we could with the tools that we had,
Right.
and all of that was fine until it wasn't.
Right. And the easy answer when people ask me that maybe I don't know as well, or I'm not gonna, I just say, I outgrew the marriage.
Mm.
I
Hmm.
just outgrew the marriage. And it
Hmm.
was time for both of us to move on and have a joyful, happy life. Life is too short. And I truly believe, and you and I have had conversations about that, that we're here to help others through our experience.
Hmm.
So, like the fact that I booked the Camino in February of 2023 to go on it in 2020, September, October of 2024, the universe already knew.
Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect. The universe was all like rubbing its hands together, like,
Can't
excellent,
wait. I can't wait
falling
to be
right
with
into our
you.
plan for Liz. And also, my kids, I want to be an example to my daughters that you don't need to stay in a relationship when you're unhappy. You shouldn't be compromising to the point of losing yourself.
Mhm.
And I think it's important that they see I'm happy, but it's also they see when I'm sad. It's all part of it. I need to be human to them, not this fake happy joy. Yes, it's working. No.
Right.
And they also are here to have their own journey with this all. And I have always just let them know I am fully available
Mhm.
anytime they want to talk to me. And they take advantage of that when they feel like they want to.
Mhm.
And I
That's
always ask them what they want to talk about. What do they want to hear? What are they asking me?
right. It's so good. I mean, so much of that mirrors my decision. I've said this before and I'm not sure it's actually true. So that's why I'm pausing. I have said before, if it wasn't for Amelia, I probably would have stayed. But I
Mm,
don't think the woman I've evolved to, I can't imagine, but it was easier for me to
mm,
take the action that my heart was calling me toward because of Amelia, because I was
mm,
not available to model that you stay in a loveless, conversational, less community, vacant existence that
Yeah.
just
No,
begins with good morning, I love you, and good night, I love you, and nothing in between. Like I was a hydrangea being treated like an air plant. Like I you need some water and some
yes.
sunshine.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So I couldn't do that. And in the process of our separation, she was, let's see, she was 8, and I communicated and continue to communicate honestly and appropriately when she asked the question. And I told her the day that we told her, she had more questions. He was done. He whatever. And I was answering questions. She was asking the same question over and over again. And I told him, like, you can ask me this question 1,000 times. I am here for it. You can. She was going to vacation Bible school that next day. I said, you can talk about it to your friends. You cannot talk about it to your friends. You get to do whatever you want because this is your story and you get to include anyone that you want. You can ask me anytime about anything. I'm here. And I made a decision for myself in the appropriate category of I'm not going to say anything that's going to disparage her relationship with him because
Yes.
I don't want to do that. And I'm not projecting that, oh, she'll figure it out on her own. No, hopefully he saved all of that for me.
Yeah.
And nobody else has to experience any of that. I mean, we co-created what we had. So, of course, she's not going to recreate that. She's not me.
Right. Right. And they came here to do their own inner work and journeys that have nothing to do with us.
Totally.
My, the very first thing after we told the girls that we were separating was I just reiterated that I'm still your mom
Mhm.
and he's still your dad and we love you.
Yep.
And that's what matters. And he's a wonderful father. He's there for them and spends time with them and, you know, going on vacation with them and takes them to like all the things that is supposed to happen. And I'm doing my thing with them and I'm still their mom and they still come to me for everything, which is just the way it is. And it's all here's at the end of the day, and I was just telling this to my daughter the other day because as she looks for a summer job and all that kind, I'm like, it's all going to be okay. It really is going to be okay. And it is. We just have to sometimes get out of our own way. And if I didn't have the tools, like
Mhm.
I really believe everything that I did starting in 2019 all the way to now, like meditation teacher training, doing more yoga, teaching meditation, being a presence coach, even when I was a running coach, all of it led me to here. And if I didn't, the wild writing I got certified in and to teach, if I didn't have those tools, I don't know where I would be. Like if I couldn't be aware of coming back to presence, if I couldn't sit, like this past winter, the biggest thing for me was you need to sit with this. No TV, no wine. You just sit on the couch and invite it in, no matter what it is. And some days I sat there just staring out the window. And other days I sobbed. Other days I got in my car and screamed at the top of my lungs when nobody was around. Like, because I'm human. Yes, I have this higher self and I'm more aware of it and I meditate, but I'm still here having a human experience. And we need to heal what needs to be healed and we need to let the emotion come up and out. And if I didn't have all those tools and all those things and my wonderful inner support group, which includes you, like, and that's the other thing when you have children, like, I have people to talk to. I don't need to talk to my kids. This,
100%.
yeah. Right. Mom has the support she needs, don't you worry. And I even talked to a therapist for a while, like,
Mhm.
and I told them that, like, they need to know there's support and help for you if you need it. So it's just all a beautiful unfolding into this next chapter. And like I told people that reached out to me yesterday, who are in my inner circle, I said, I went and claimed my wings today. I climbed out of that chrysalis. Like, and I like literally, and we talked about this, is that my friend Beth, who does Bee Styled, I met with her and she helped me get this outfit together. And then I met with my friend on Saturday. She works for Estee Lauder and she showed me how to really do my makeup. And I got my colors. I'm a warm spring, if anybody wants to know. So I wore gold earrings and a necklet. Like it was all, and one of the first things he said to me when he came, sat down yesterday when we were waiting outside, waiting for the court to open, he said, "You look great." And I said, "Thank you." Whereas like 3 years ago, I'd be like, "Oh no, blah, blah, blah." No, I'm like, "Thank you."
I'm obsessed. It's so good. I love this, just back to how you can't heal what you don't feel.
Yeah.
This beautiful awareness and reminder that we have the capacity to hold more than one emotion at the same time. And if Amelia can be happy and sad, but she can be really excited that she gets two Christmases, and when she's at her dad she drinks Sprite, and she can be really sad. It's less now because it's been a long
Yeah.
time, so it's different. But even for me, like when we had the conversation, we made the decision, and then we had a really great day because the energy shift was palpable. I mean, you could feel it, felt so much better. That's probably why it's taken 3 years, because it just feels so much better to not be in the same house, that we're good.
Yeah.
So, and no other parties are in our party, so no one's pushing the timeline, but it's time. Anyway, but if we had a good day, I thought, oh gosh, am I supposed to put my wedding ring back on? Like, is this no? And I think that's what the Camino did for you, and what my 9 months of sitting in the question did for me, is that it solidified my alignment, my relationship between me and me. So I had this knowing, this certainty of what was for me and
Mm.
how I wanted to feel, so that when I had what I refer to as the courageous conversation,
Yep.
and then, that information was newer to him. He had not also been sitting in his own question for however long. Um, and then he would come at me, I'm gonna say, because that's what it really felt like, with,
Yeah.
well, what are you gonna do about this? And what are you gonna do about this? And you're not gonna make any money and you're gonna lose the house and blah, like all these like doom awful things that, what are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do? And if I hadn't walked my Camino, or, spent those
Yep.
months, then I would be like, oh shoot, I didn't think about that. Oh God, okay. Well, and that's where the back and forth could have happened. But my roots were so deep in my own inner knowing that I responded like my future self. Not like, I mean, I surprised myself how I responded, because he would say something like, well, what are you going to do when you default on the taxes and you can't pay the mortgage and you have to sell the house? And I'm like, what do you just walked into the kitchen with this scenario? And, because I don't want to sign a lease on a apartment if you're going to move to the Cape. And I'm like, oh my, okay, wait a minute. First of all, there's no scenario where this isn't my house.
Right.
There's no scenario where, if this isn't my house, that not moving to France. Goodness sakes, every listener of this podcast knows exactly. You've never heard me talk about the Cape. That's not where I'm going. And then I didn't say, I just said there's no scenario where that's going to happen. So I'm actually not available to expend any energy coming up with a plan B that makes you feel better about what apartment you're going to rent. Like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to figure that out. Just like I'm going to figure out how to not
Yeah.
default on the taxes and how to pay the mortgage and everything else. It was just so that. And then when I heard myself answer, I was like, oh, look at that. I'd say that again. I'd listen to her podcast. Look at that. And I remember at one point I asked if I could take notes because he was just listing all of these horrible things that were going to happen. And so, and
Which
typically,
shows where he is,
well,
where he was in
right,
his journey. It doesn't have
right.
anything to do with you.
Well, and no, it doesn't. And it's that's his bend.
Yeah.
And it makes him really great at his job. He
Yeah.
is in corporate finance, and it's
Yeah.
his job to
Yeah.
forecast the worst case scenario
Yeah.
for the organization so
Yeah.
that they can think of everything so that that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
which God bless, like good for you. That's a niche, but whew, that is not a fit for this dreamer. Like worst case scenario, that sounds awful. But he would also, he was the researcher. He is a researcher, and I'm more of an experiential learner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he would do all the research and then really list out what I was supposed to do that day. And that might be an eye roll to someone listening, but I appreciated not having to research what I was supposed to do with all these things that he planted. And so he would just, so I was always taking notes on what he
Yeah.
wanted to do. So when he would come into the room with this long list of doom and gloom, I would ask if I could take notes. And I came across it recently in a journal that just is in the kitchen. And I wrote, Keith Harrop is not my source. God is my source. Abundance is my birthright. I can
Yes.
be, do, and have whatever I desire. And I was just writing all of these affirmations, and I would be nodding and looking at him, and just writing all this stuff down. And it was just so good. It was so
I love
good.
that.
But it was
I love it.
because you took that time to really solidify who am I becoming?
Yeah.
And what actions do I need to take that are casting a vote for her?
Yeah. Because here's what I know to be true from my own experiences in this life, even from well before I even knew John, is the universe always takes care of me.
That's right.
Always.
Everything is always working
Always.
out for me.
Yes. Everything is always working out for me. When I get out of my own way, when I see, and I'm telling you, it's things like a book is dropped in your lap, or you learn about the law of attraction and you listen to Abraham Hicks. Like yesterday, I was watching one of the YouTubes and I wrote this down. Sadness comes from holding myself apart from the most expansive version of myself.
Mic drop.
Yep. So I wrote that on Monday, and because luckily for me, like Memorial Day was the day before I was going to court, and so I literally took the day for myself. I went in, I stayed off my phone, um, except for the coffee affirmation I post. I meditated longer. I did more meditation. I even drove myself to the court so I could see it, see where I would park. And then I could visualize me walking in, easily going up to where I needed to go. And yesterday, like, it's just so funny. There's a lot, and you're not the only one in the court. There's more people, and you realize that, oh wow, mine's not so bad.
Mhm.
Like, and we were like, I was the first in line, and then we were the first up, and there's just, it just all flowed smoothly for me, and that's the path I created for
That's
myself.
right.
And I truly believed it
Yeah.
and nullified doubt. And which it's just like that practicing presence. You're constantly like, ooh, hey, thought, how'd you get in there? I thought the door was closed to that thought. And you guys, and then I nullify that thought.
Yeah.
And then I bring in a new thought that of where I want it to go. Like and afterwards, like I remember driving home and I was like, wow, I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
And my mind also is in there, like, don't you want to cry, Liz? No, no, I'm good.
Right? Like
Great.
this conditioning of, oh, this experience elicits this emotion. Why am I not having that? I mean,
Yes.
even when I would tell people that we're, I don't even know what to say we are because it's been so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just say we're in the process of a divorce.
Yeah.
And then I look at them like they're like, oh, they make a sad face and they're about to say, I'm sorry, or they say, I'm sorry. And I say, congratulations. Oh, congratulations. Like, thank you very much. We're all
I
living
had
our
some,
best life over here. It's okay.
I know people want to, we are taught and we have these subconscious beliefs and that's one thing I learned over this last year too. And while I was walking the Camino is there's these beliefs in there that I didn't even realize I had. Oh, and one of them that I dealt with was that somehow my worth came from being his wife.
Mm,
And I'm like,
like, wait a minute. That doesn't even
what?
sound like me.
No, no. Like it was like, whoa. And
Mhm.
then like, so the more I shed layers and layers and layers, I started to be able to start to strip away those, subconscious beliefs that are fed to us
Mhm.
that we don't even realize are there. Whereas at this stage of the game, when I say to somebody, and same as you, congratulations are in order, actually.
Mhm.
And I think often what happens too is if someone has a different reaction, I just send them light and love because I know it's where they are. And there's some fear that's been triggered in them that
Yeah.
has nothing to do with me and everything to do with their journey here, not mine. It's not
Yes.
personal.
I heard something on Glennon Doyle's podcast. They were talking about the difference between care and curiosity in when you're sharing some information like this, like someone passed away unexpectedly
Yeah.
or an end of a marriage. And there are two types of people that ask, oh my gosh, what happened? And what they were talking about with some scientists, I don't know, was that the reason that people ask what happened is they're doing a comparative analysis. So if someone died and then you say, oh, they had lung cancer, they smoked their whole life, in the other person's mind, they're saying, phew, okay, good. I don't smoke. That won't happen to me. Or if someone's marriage ended and they're like, oh, yeah, he had an affair with his secretary. Oh, good. My husband doesn't have a secretary. That won't happen to me. Like it's this
Because that's
primal,
what's going to stop it from happening.
totally right, right. But it's this
Yes.
primal,
Yep.
they're not
Rationalization.
right. Nobody's thinking my worth comes from being this guy's wife. Like,
Right.
but that soundtrack is playing. And then there are people that say, oh my gosh, are you okay?
Mm.
And that that was my filter. Like if you
Yeah.
ask me what happened, I'm gonna say my courage freed us both, and I'm not going to seek out continual conversation with you.
Yeah.
And if someone asked me, oh my gosh, how are you doing? I'm like, you are my people, and
Yes.
I'm fantastic. Thank you. So everyone that's still in my circle,
Yeah.
you played
Yes.
that game well.
You know what? I would say same for me. Like, because it goes back to what Brene Brown says too. Like, do they have the right to hear your story?
Mm,
Does
mm,
that person are they in your inner circle? Are they in your front row? Or are
mm,
they kind of close to the door in the back?
mhm.
Because I would know, like, s- certain people would ask me, "Oh, are you on a dating app? Are you dating someone?" I'm like,
Right.
"No."
Right. It's like,
First
I
of all,
just got engaged. Why are you asking me when I'm going to have a baby?
yeah,
Good night.
I'm
I haven't even chosen a florist yet. Gosh.
and I am not against dating apps. They're just not for me. And I I'm dating myself.
My
For the
third
first time in my
husband is
life,
Wendy
I'm
Hare.
living alone. I'm on my own. I'm making my own decisions. I'm following where my heart wants to lead me.
Mhm.
And sometimes I go the other direction, but I'm always very aware that I kind of veered off and need to come back to what my heart wants. And and that's where I am right now. And someday maybe I but that's right now I'm living in the present moment and just happy and enjoying dating myself, seeing my friends, traveling. I have some great trips, one with you in September, which I'm very
Hey,
excited about.
me too.
And I have some really awesome things happening in my business. So, and anytime I was feeling down or I would just say, I would ask God, how do you want me to be in service today?
Hmm.
Because I'll tell you, that always makes you feel better.
Hmm. 100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of being in service, you alluded to this in your story of going to court, and we have come up with this, what we think is a brilliant idea. Liz
Of
and
course.
I are your concierge crossing the finish line of divorce coaches.
I love that. Concierge crossing the finish line. I love
Right?
that.
Like, besides the mindset, besides the encouragement, the practices, the tools, the real life experience, and how we are helping women by sharing our experience. And, the experience is personal, but the tools are universal, and we are eager to share. And for me, I'm grateful to have had the experience. Like, let's not waste it on just what happened to my
Us.
family, right? Like, let's
Yes.
share the goods, which is, what I want to do about everything. But when you are at this place, to have what you did, Liz, was so brilliant. You reached out to a personal stylist. You, like, I'll be having my hair done. You showed up in that courtroom like the woman you are becoming, and you felt like the queen that you are, and how we feel is everything. I told you about the photo shoot that I had that just coincidentally, wink, wink from the universe, occurred the day after Keith moved out. And when the photographer was showing me the photos, we were just taking pictures of the outfits I was going to wear in France. She showed me the photos on the back of her camera, and I started crying, and I said, "Oh, that looks like my future." And she was like, "Honey, it's you now." It's like, "Oh my gosh, I love her." And of course, that was like 2.5 years ago. So I I love that we can create this beautiful package, this beautiful experience. We're all just walking each other home. So,
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
and we get to do this in community, and you get to feel like a freaking queen because you are, and you'll have the fabulous outfit. You will do whatever is important to you. You will have a photo shoot. We will have a gorgeous party in my barn, whatever you want. You want to do all that? You want to go straight to the airport? We're going to Paris. We are with you, queen. Like, this is just so beautiful. And anyone that can get that excited about their divorce, we are on to something. That's
I walked out of my house yesterday loving myself.
right.
Yesterday wasn't a day to wear my yoga outfit to court.
Mm-mm.
It was to stand in who I am. Now, who I was to go to court yesterday had a little heel. Maybe yours are flats. Like maybe like I had gold jewelry, maybe yours is silver. Like, but literally on Monday, I tried outfits on in my front of my mirror to see which, okay, does this color what do I feel like in this? Would I like, so it was a cross between I feel comfortable and I love how I look in this. So
And
and that matters. When you walk in feeling good with how you look, no one's gonna mess with you.
right.
They just want to be in your energy. Your light is shining. My light was shining.
Yeah. And you were showing the other people in that
Yes.
courtroom what is available for them too.
And I had a woman next to me tear up and I just touched her arm and we looked at each other like as a look of it's going to be okay.
I see you.
Yeah, I see you. Or I see the woman up there who is standing there and her ex-husband's on the other side and they're talking about their 16-year-old son. I see you.
Mhm.
It all like, oh, and that just walking each other home, we're all here for each other. We're not separate.
Yeah.
We're not separate.
Right.
When we think we're separate, that's where the suffering comes from.
Exactly. Can you
We're
read that
all
sadness quote again?
sadness comes from holding myself apart from the most expansive version of myself. It's
It's
just your body
yeah,
telling you
you're pinching
something's
yourself
not
up.
right. Yes, something isn't right. Something's not right. And what I can tell you is it will all be okay.
You know what? It's going to be better than okay.
Oh, it's going to be magnificent. Like I'm just in awe of myself right now.
I'm
Like
an
I
odd
like sat there, I'm
too.
like, I can't believe I did this.
Yeah. But let's reframe that, right? Because you can believe it.
Oh
You
yeah,
created
totally.
it. You
Yes.
created
Yes.
that experience.
Totally.
Every element that felt empowering was all you're doing. And any element that felt like you were compromising was also
Mhm.
your doing.
Yes. And I just listening to how I felt every step of the way is what led me to here. It's all about how are you feeling?
Hmm.
Your body doesn't lie to you.
That's right.
Your body knows. And like that book, Your Body Knows the Score, it does.
Mhm. Yeah.
And every time I took that step to myself, I felt expansive and peace. Anytime I was not, I would feel like closed in. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? What's being triggered? What's being asked to be healed right now?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And what about this yes feels scary? And is that even true?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Because if you're making decisions out of fear, oh, you don't want to be there.
No.
You need to work with me and Wendy.
Yeah, exactly. We've got you.
We'll
And
help you move.
we have lots of coaches in our circles and worlds as
Yes.
well for so whatever we're not qualified for, you're okay. But I think, that's why I wanted to have this conversation. And I'm so grateful and appreciative of your vulnerability and your availability because I wanted to capture this. I didn't know, is this going to be like, I mean, I also don't know about childbirth, but I understand that there are some things about childbirth that your body allows you
Forgets.
to forget so that you'll do it again. Um,
Yep.
and about this situation, I wanted you to have a
Mm.
a physical representation of what you didn't want to forget.
Oh, so beautifully said. First of all, thank you for the opportunity for this. I knew when you asked me yesterday that it was a yes. And that's how I'm saying yes to myself.
Right.
Is I'm not meant to keep my experiences inside. I'm meant to share them to help others and be in service.
And you are telling your story.
Yeah, it's
So
my story and
you
experience.
don't need to get anyone to sign off. Well,
No.
you said John's name and that's not okay. you know what? F that.
Yeah.
Because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This was our experience. If someone is having a problem with hearing their name
Yeah.
associated with the poor behavior,
Yeah.
then it's the person talking about it is not what made this wrong.
No.
So listen to a different podcast if this is triggering for you. But this we are allowed to use our voice. We are allowed to share our experience, to tell our story. And we are both, you and I, and all of our listeners, I'm sure of it, are committed to our own truth. And we are also aware that we are co creating and we are not holding other people responsible for our bad experiences.
Right.
We're a part of that. So we're allowing it, or
Yeah.
we can remove ourselves from the room.
Well, and I would add to that is if you notice by our whole conversation, I never talked about how someone else was feeling. I only spoke about the experience and how I felt and
Mhm,
the experience from my point of view.
mhm,
I would never take someone else's experience away from them. I spoke my truth in all of this.
mhm,
And that's I think something to remember when we're sharing is we're just speaking our truth and
mhm,
how we felt and what this did. But as I tell people who ask, "Hey, this marriage was two people,
mhm.
okay? It was two people, and we just both and all I can do is share my experience and
Right,
my truth, which is so important for women to do.
right,
We should not be silenced."
right. And just in closing, because we shouldn't be silenced, of course. And you mentioned fear before, and
Mhm.
there's this idea that I'm not refuting, but there is an idea that it is not safe to share our stories.
Mhm.
So how are you um processing that information or that feeling? How are you showing yourself what safety feels like so that you can share?
I always, before sharing, check in with my intention.
Mhm.
Like, is this coming from my heart and to be in service, or is this coming from my ego?
Mhm.
And that will tell me right away what's meant to be said and not said. And that's a practice.
Right.
I have
Abraham
not
Hicks
always
says,
done that. My ego has been involved many times in years past.
yeah.
But that question of like, what's my intention here with sharing this, talking about this, and who am I talking about it with?
Mhm.
But I think just the being in service is what helps me. And always remembering that I'm speaking from my experience.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to step in and be someone else because
Right.
that would be I would be so out of integrity with myself.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yes.
Yeah.
Abraham Hicks says, is this my intention or my opinion?
Mm,
Right? And we can tell by how does it feel?
right. And I feel that when we tell our stories, it's to help others.
Yeah.
We're here having experiences to help others.
Yeah.
We're here to be in service.
Mm, period.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited to be on this journey with you, Queen. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for
Mm.
your honesty. Thank you for your generosity in sharing this beautiful experience. I love you so much.
Oh, I love you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Wendy, you have no idea. I can't wait to listen to it. And now I forever have it. How I was feeling on day one of freedom.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.